Wondering if the Monti Kids Level 2 subscription box is worth it? Today I'm going to walk you through what comes inside this Montessori toy subscription box for 4 to 6.5-month-olds, as well as how those items compare financially to Amazon or Etsy if you were to self-curate this. I'll leave a link to all of those dupes as well as the Monti Kids box in the description box below. And of course, I'll talk a little bit about my qualitative experience with it, how my baby actually liked the items, which ones were worth it, which ones were duds. If you guys are new here, my name is Rachel from The Confused Mom. Welcome to my channel. I share baby and toddler product reviews, activities, and Montessori at home tips, so make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss future videos. If you guys are new to Monti Kids as well, I will leave a link to my FAQ high-level overview of what they are. Essentially, the Monti Kids program is a curated selection of toys and items by Montessori teachers. Monti Kids suggests introducing these items once your baby is reaching their hand out to explore different things, if they're working on becoming more intentional or strengthening their grip and grasp, as well as passing things back and forth between hands. It comes with a little timeline with their suggestions for when to introduce each item, but you do not have to follow that by any means. Personally, for all of the little grasping toys and teethers, I started to introduce all of them around 2.5 months. If my baby didn't engage with it, I would just put it away for a couple weeks and then bring it back out again. All right, so what's actually inside of this toy box? First up is going to be this little wooden board book featuring 8 real-life photos of animals. No secret, I'm a huge fan of wooden board books. I think every family should have at least one, especially around that 6 months of age. I think they make great toys to give to your child when they're in their car seat and they start to put everything in their mouth and they're starting to teeth. If you have siblings, my toddler also loves to read this book to baby brother. She tells him what the animal is, what sound it makes. She'll point out different colors. So it's actually a really nice way to get older siblings involved with baby too, in my experience. As far as dupes for this, they're gonna cost you between $13 and $36, and both of the dupes I found do not feature actual real life photographs of the animals, but instead are more like watercolor realistic paintings. Both are great options. The next item is this square wooden rattle that has a little ball that moves back and forth. It provides a nice tactile experience, auditory experience, and of course visual input. And this has been one of my son's favorite little toys in this box. I actually really love to keep it in our stroller, and I find that like towards the end of a walk, if he's starting to get fussy, I'll shake it. I think that kind of like jolt of a new auditory stimulation kind of brings him back into the moment, and it seems to really help him. He of course loves to teeth it. He likes to figure out now that he's really kind of becoming intentional with his movements, how to make the sound himself. So really as early as 2.5 months, this one has been a hit out of the park. He's now 7 months that I'm recording this, and he plays with this every single week. As far as dupes for this, I could only find one. The next item is this little grasping cylinder, which is like a little wiggly toy. It really refines a lot of like tiny muscles in their hands, encourages a lot of coordination and body control. This is one of the toys they suggest introducing closer to 4 months. Like I said, I introduced all of these closer to 2.5 months. I was so certain he would like this one. He actually did not start enjoying this toy until 6 months old. I reintroduced it pretty much every week, and he never played with it longer for 30 seconds. And even now at 7 months, it still doesn't get played with for more than 1 to 2 minute stretches. Funny enough, I could not find any good dupes for this item either. Next item is a classic Montessori toy, little interlocking disc. The unique shape of it allows baby to really work on hand-to-hand transfer as well as coordination. I have also done Lovevery play kit reviews, and they give you one of these in their play kits. I think I said it back then, my daughter was just not into this, and my son, while he was into it more than my daughter ever was, this is still just an item my kids don't seem to enjoy that much. There's tons of dupes for this on Amazon and Etsy. I would personally shy away from the Amazon ones while they are cheaper, and you can get like bundles of this with another item in this toy box, because the reviews on them tend to be really bad. If I was self-curating, I'd probably skip this. And if I were to get this, the Etsy shop that does that wooden board book I mentioned also sells a version of this, and they offer a lifetime guarantee for US shoppers, which is nice, because I would say the biggest complaint I see about the interlocking discs in general is that these eventually do tend to come apart. And if you listen closely, well, you guys can see it. my Monti Kids one came apart. I know somebody recently commented on one of my videos that they found Monti Kids to be much better quality than Lovevery, but I just have not found that to be the case. And another one of their toys, I have the same toy from Lovevery, and the Monti Kids one is falling apart, but our Lovevery one is 3 years old and it's still in great condition. The next item is this hex with balls, is what they call it. This is one of the items I was definitely the most intrigued about when we got it. I had never seen anything quite like it before. It really helps them learn how to adjust their grip and strengthen it. I would say he didn't really start taking a liking to it until about 5 months or so. And he has really enjoyed this. I think he likes how many different little spots there are for him to lock his grip into it. Super unique. As far as dupes for it go, nothing exactly like this. I do like the Manhattan Squish Rattle, which I've talked about before. Definitely is not exactly like this by any means, but it has a few different beads at the end. It makes a unique movement, kind of like how this has a very unique movement. The next item, which is probably my son's favorite, is the teether ball. This is a food grade silicone ball with little prongs at the end, and there's no hole on it, so it can't trap any baby drool. 100%, this is one of his favorite toys. When he's on tummy time and teething, he goes to town on this. If you're self-curating, I would 10/10 recommend picking this up. The dupe I would recommend for it is actually Lovevery sells a version of this in their Target line. Amazon has a bunch of different sensory ball packs that do include one like this. Typically, you'll see 2 types of them on Amazon. One where there's like a little plug in the hole, but you don't want to do that because that's a choking hazard. The other one just has the hole. What I've seen some people do is fill that in with hot glue and then sand that down. The next item is this little cube rattle, which is small. It's with a hole on each side. It provides a really nice little grip for them. It gives them a chance to actually work on their pincer grasp to an extent. I mean, my baby has definitely just put it on his finger like this, but he's also kind of started to intuitively work on that pincer grasp while going to grab this. And this is definitely, if self-curating, an item I would suggest getting. As far as dupes for this, I will link a few different options below. The next item is this little interlocking ring set. We are big fans of this. You guys can see here, I have one of their Velcro straps that comes in their level 1 kit for their activity gym. I also loop this through in our stroller because it's like a long enough toy that he can reach out and pull it towards him. He's a big fan of this. I think it's nice to have the mixed textures. As he's gotten more into teething, the crochet soft teething rings have definitely been one of his preferred ones now that the teeth are actually breaking through. The wooden rings provide a nice little auditory input too. As far as dupes, there's nothing exactly like this, but there are a handful of similar options. The next item is a Dolio, which is a little wooden rattle, and I will say my son did not start taking a liking to it until shortly after turning 6 months, at which point he was really in the throes of teething and he has really liked to mouth these little nuds. And as far as dupes for this, the only one I could find was the Nafe Dolio rattle. Definitely on the pricier end. I think the Manhattan Squish Rattle makes a very similar sound when you shake it, and just like this has the little balls at the end, the Manhattan Squish Rattle has little balls, and it also has different grips for you to hold. If you are self-curating, kind of skip the German brand one for this and skip trying to find a dupe for this necessarily and get that Manhattan Squish Rattle instead. The next item in this is the cylinder rattle. This is a really simple wooden rattle with 3 colorful sides. This has been one of my son's absolute favorites from the beginning. It's a really easy grip. They're able to kind of slide their fingers in there. The full wooden panel sides makes it a lot easier than some of the other cylinder rattles. Of course, we spun it for him. He could practice extending his reach. He's definitely pushing to crawl right now. He has been a huge fan of this. If you are self-curating, this is another one that I 10/10 would recommend. As far as dupes for it, there's tons on the market. You can get them for as little as $7, but again, I would be hesitant of those. They tend to break, which is definitely a scary item to break. Instead, I would opt for Plan Toys. It's a great brand. It should last you. I wouldn't be concerned about that one breaking on me. Next item in here is going to be Baby's First Block Set, which includes 24 wooden blocks. The natural wooden blocks come in several different shapes and 6 different colored ones. These are great, super high quality, big enough for infants to mouth, and of course toddlers love them, and as your baby grows, you'll continue to get more and more and more use out of blocks. At this stage, I wouldn't expect your baby to do more than to hold the block, strengthening their hand, maybe mouthing it. They're on tummy time, you can put one in front of them, they can practice reaching for it. As they get older, you may see them clang 2 blocks together, and eventually with time, they'll stack a tower of 2 blocks and then they'll continue to build onto it. And I personally found that with my first, she really started to take a liking with blocks after 18 months, which I guess leads me to the dupes for this item. And of course, there are loads of natural, non-toxic wooden blocks out there ranging from as little as $11 to as much as $250. The block set we personally absolutely love is the Lovevery block set. I will leave a link to my full review. And the reason I prefer that one, if I were self-curating it, is because it literally comes with over 20 activities you can do with it. Like I said, babies don't really start getting super into blocks until a little after 18 months, but in the first year, they do start to get into shape sorting puzzles. They do like to get into pull toys around 1 year, which the Lovevery one can convert to. So there's just a lot of different things you can do with the Lovevery one, whereas this one for Monti Kids at 4 to 6.5 months, other than playing with 1 or 2 blocks, it's probably going to sit fairly unused for a while. I will leave links to the Lovevery block set below, as well as my wooden blocks buying guide, as well as a few other more affordable picks if you were looking for something a little bit cheaper and more comparable to that 24-piece set. The last physical item that comes in this toy box is a dining set, and this comes with a placemat, a fork, a spoon, food grade silicone bowl, and 2 metal cups. This is really designed to foster independent eating, work fine motor skills. It's something that you'll definitely get more use out of as baby grows older. We didn't even start to introduce this to him until 7 months. The dupes that we personally use, because again, there's like hundreds of options out there for dupes for a dining set. For babies, the easy peasy first food set is great. Bowl has a little suction mat. Some parents might not find that the most Montessori. I honestly don't mind. I give him a utensil, which is these little flathead ones. He is able to shovel and get tons of food in his mouth, and he has no problem with it. He loves that spoon. We have the Lovevery dining set. I'm a big fan of it. That's definitely something a little bit more appropriate for toddlers. Beyond the physical items that come in this toy box, Monti Kids program comes with several resources for parents with their subscription. I talked about these a bit more extensively in my high-level Monti Kids FAQ review post, so I'm going to go through them pretty quick here. In addition to all the physical items, you get an on-demand video library, which includes 9 lessons with video instructions about the research behind certain items, as well as tutorials on how to introduce certain items. So whether or not Monti Kids is worth it financially. If you were to get all of the cheapest dupes mentioned in this video, you're looking at spending about $182, which is over $100 less than this costs. However, if you were to get the most expensive dupes, you're looking at spending $320. So that would be more than the cost of this box. Personally, I would skip this box though. The standalone items that I would get for this for self-curating are gonna come out to like $200-ish. They're gonna give you a lot more runway. But if you have this toy box and have a different opinion or experience, I'd love to hear it down in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you don't miss my next toy box review. And in the meantime, feel free to go check out those past Monti Kids reviews, check out those Lovevery reviews, and as always, my name's Rachel. Have a good one.